Imagine having a watch that costs more than most people's cars. We're going to talk about fancy watches and answer a big question. Is it smart to invest in a Patek Philippe watch? We'll check out what makes these watches so cool, how they're made, and why people go nuts over them. Make sure you watch till the end to find out why Patek Philippe watches are super special and why buying one might just be a genius move. Owning a Patek Philippe watch is often seen as a big deal in the world of collectors and enthusiasts. People believe that once you have a Patek Philippe watch, nothing else matters. This is because Patek Philippe watches are known for their excellence, confidence-boosting appeal, and exceptional charm. But is it really worth buying one? Well, the answer is a bit of both, and you might think so too. Watch experts have agreed that Patek Philippe is the most prestigious watchmaker globally, and their watches consistently break auction records, selling for much more than their competitors' watches. This shows how highly regarded they are in the watch community. But before we decide if they make a good investment, let's first ask why Patek Philippe watches are so captivating. Firstly, it's because they are made with incredible craftsmanship. Patek Philippe watches may look simple, but their prices reflect the fact that they are meticulously designed and built to last, regardless of changes in fashion. For example, they have watches like the Bauhaus-inspired Calatrava and the Art Deco Gondola. To make just one watch, up to 252 individual parts are carefully put together by skilled craftsmen and women. This means that the highest quality is maintained throughout the entire process, even for parts that you can't see, like the inner movements of the watch. Secondly, Patek Philippe watches are exclusive, and who doesn't love that? Since the company started in 1839, they've made fewer than 1 million timepieces. To put it in perspective, some other high-end Swiss watchmakers produce more watches in a year than Patek Philippe has made in its entire history. This exclusivity adds to their appeal. To support our first point, let's delve deeper into the manufacturing process. Patek Philippe's approach to crafting watches is incredibly meticulous. Even the simplest watches from Patek Philippe take about 9 months to make, and their most intricate timepieces can take more than 2 years. Meanwhile, interest in these watches is growing worldwide. Some Patek Philippe watches are so rare that potential buyers must go through an application process to prove they are serious collectors. Think of it like a meaningful test. Thirdly, Patek Philippe watches are forward-thinking with long-term goals. While the brand has a rich history, it's not stuck in the past. Patek Philippe highly values the heritage of watchmaking and has made significant investments in using cutting-edge materials, technologies, and manufacturing techniques. You might already be aware of the Calatrava Pilot Travel Time, a pilot's watch that they released in 2015. It's just one example of how the brand actively innovates in the watch industry. Now let's talk about why collectors love Patek Philippe's archives. The Patek Philippe archives contain detailed records for each and every one of the company's watches, knowing that you can track down information like when a Patek Philippe watch was made and when it was first sold since their establishment in 1839 is quite reassuring. It's safe to assume that anyone who can afford a Patek watch has achieved something noteworthy in their life. The descriptions in the archives that tell the story of each watch are meant to evoke a sense of connection with the past. Interestingly, members of royal families, heads of states, and celebrities can be found in these archives. Even though Patek doesn't disclose the names of past owners on its records, this provides great material for daydreaming. You can imagine that the former owner might have celebrated the end of a war, the beginning of a new relationship, or the arrival of a new baby with the very watch you now own. Some of the most stunning timepieces we come across make their debut at auctions. What's fascinating is that the emotions tied to each sale are passed from one owner to the next, and that's truly remarkable. But that's not all. There are more things to love about Patek watches. In fact, there's something special in their DNA. What is amazing is that Patek Philippe watches are unparalleled when it comes to the perfect blend of design, art, and craftsmanship. Take Patek's watch casings, for example. They speak for themselves. They might seem simple at first glance, but you can be sure that Patek doesn't compromise on quality. Unlike other Patek Philippe's competitors, who often outsource the making and finishing of their casings, Patek Philippe typically produces their cases in-house. What's more, these cases are often crafted from single pieces of gold or platinum. Patek employs traditional case-making techniques dating back to the 19th century, which have been preserved by a few modern watchmakers. Just like their timepieces, the skills required to create one of these cases have been passed down through generations, and this is the right way to do it. Now, as a final point, we'd like to discuss whether Patek's watches make for a great investment, but we can't definitively say yes or no. However, there are some solid reasons why they can be considered as investments. First of all, Patek Philippe is a family-owned company with a strong reputation. Their watches tend to have good resale value in the secondary market, and when it comes to style, Patek's watches are timeless, never going out of fashion. But here's the twist. Some experts caution against investing in things that can't be printed, like stocks, bonds, and currencies. This has led to increased interest in collectibles, including Patek Philippe antique timepieces, similar to how people invested in such items during the pandemic. In the world of collecting, individuals adopt a gold bug mentality. When traditional markets become uncertain, demand rises for alternative safe haven assets like gold watches. Gold watches have always been considered a traditional investment, but there's a catch. In light of recent events, more people are realizing the need to keep their valuable watches on their wrists rather than flaunting them, which has led to strong results at recent auctions. For instance, a Patek Philippe watch crafted by Anita Porchette sold for a staggering $478,000 at Sotheby's in September 2022. Furthermore, at Sotheby's Hong Kong auction on October 5, 2022, auction records were once again shattered. A reference 5002p went for an astonishing $1.6 million despite not having its original box or certificate. Another reference, 5711-1A, sold for $112,000, which was considered a steal just a few months prior. This auction provided evidence that the relative value of contemporary trophy watches is steadily increasing. However, vintage Patek Philippe watches haven't seen the same significant performance recently, mainly due to the majority of offerings being contemporary. So if you're wondering which Patek Philippe watches to invest in, we don't have a one-size-fits-all answer. Here's some advice: sell what you can easily replace if you later regret it. Some collectors may suggest selling your 57 Mwambi for one day, as it's currently fetching triple its retail price. Remember, you can always buy another watch later, likely at a lower price. Instead, consider investing in rare and unique pieces that aren't readily available on platforms like Chrono24. In essence, it's best to focus on important vintage Patek Philippes or truly distinctive modern watches. To put it differently, if you stumble upon a once-in-a-lifetime deal, seize the opportunity. However, if you come across a sale for a common watch, it might be best to pass, as the investment potential may be limited. Sotheby's Hong Kong watch sale, primarily featuring modern watches, raked in a total of $18 million, highlighting the ongoing global interest in collecting timepieces. From a collectability perspective, we're eagerly awaiting to see how Patek Philippe's historic timepieces perform in antique-focused auctions. All signs point to a substantial haul for these irreplaceable pieces. So, do you think Patek Philippe is a profitable investment? Or are there other brands that you think that are more profitable? Share everything in the comments below. And before leaving, be sure that you are already subscribed to Luxury Focus to stay updated on our latest videos concerning luxury watches. See you next time.